Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the University of Technology Jamaica's virtual pre-registration forum interactive session. My name is Narda Tomlinson, and I am the enrollment officer here within the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management. Firstly, I should apologize for the late start. We had to go through a few technical changes, and I would just like to again thank you for joining us and hope that we will have a fruitful discussion today during our interactive session. To my right, I have with me the University Registrar, Mrs. Mercedes Dean, and to my left, the Assistant Registrar for the Admissions and Enrollment Management, Mr. Clayton Moore. I would like to also hope that the persons joining us, our prospective students, parents, and guardians, have been keeping well during the COVID-19 pandemic. Due to the restrictions, we had to meet virtually instead of physically as we would normally do every year. But nonetheless, our presentations will be of use to you during the enrollment process, and I can guarantee that you will be lacking no information. At this time, I would just like to offer apologies. Our Western Campus team is unable to join us today. However, you will be able to meet that team during the week of orientation next week between August 16 to 21. I would like to now turn over to Mrs. Dean, our University Registrar, who will bring welcome and further greetings.
Good morning, my dear students. I call you students because you're in UTech at this time. I welcome parents, guardians, and all those who are making themselves available to this pre-registration forum. I want to thank you for making a wise choice. Not just a wise choice, the best choice ever for choosing to come to UTech. At UTech, you are entering the birthplace of your greatness, your starting point in your trajectory in academia. This forum, the pre-registration forum, is designed specially to help you as you will be navigating the registration and entering your class for this academic year or this academic session commencing August 24. So things have changed a lot for all of us. And so UTech will be at this time for this semester and moving forward, engaging in a more online delivery, or what we call a dual modality. Some classes will be offered online, while others you will be required to be present in the physical surroundings. But more of that, I'm not the technical person, but the team here, you will succeed. We are here to help you succeed and navigate the challenges during this period. I want to say to you that UTech is a dynamic institution, and we have had 60 years of solid history behind us. Many of you might have known parents. Your parents might have come to CAST. People in the Eastern Caribbean, their prime ministers, their leaders in government might have come to UTech and CAST indeed. So we have a long history of excellence with us. We are built on our core values, which is called RAISE IT, the acronym, which means respect, accountability, integrity, service, entrepreneurship, innovation, and team spirit. We trust that as you join us, that you will embrace these core values, and together we will make a success of this institution. These are really different times since the COVID-19 pandemic, and changes will be inevitable. And one of the greatness of any institution is its agility to respond to changes. And UTech Jamaica is responding to you in this way. So I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you for choosing us. I also want to thank you that you will enable us to trust you, enable us to serve you, and enable you to get the best quality education ever. I will not sit here and say we have it all 100%. But where those lacks occur, we'll ensure that we are so agile that we will remedy those as soon as possible. So the last thing I want to say to you this morning is that you are already succeeding by being a part of this program, the pre-registration program. Our data is showing that persons who attend pre-registration and orientation has charted their course for success. So I want to encourage you, ask the questions, no matter how simple they might seem and how funny you might think them to be. But make sure when you leave here, you have all your questions answered. Make sure you have a notebook, a pen, pencil, so that you can write down the information and be ensuring that you are getting the response you need. If the team here cannot provide the immediate response, then we will certainly make an effort to get it to you in the shortest possible time. So welcome to our pre-registration. Enjoy it, and we are here to make you great. And thank you for coming.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Dean. I would just like to also introduce you to our additional panelists who are joining us virtually via the Blackboard Collaborate medium. We have our team from the Office of Distance Learning, Mr. Leon Grant, and he is an educational technologist. We also have Mrs. Kamla Anderson. She is an instructional design specialist. From our Quality Assurance Department, Senior Quality Assurance Officer, Mr. Greg Louis Austin. Also from the Department of Student Financing, the Director, Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan. And joining us later will be our Students' Union President, Mr. Khalil Hutchinson. We also have the first Vice President joining us virtually, Ms. Robin Murray, as well as our student ambassador, one of our student ambassadors here at UTech, Naisha Jarrett. As said before, despite the restrictions that the country and the world at large is currently facing, we have come together to provide you with the necessary information that you will need to guide you through the enrollment and registration process here at UTech. And this information you'll find useful throughout your lifetime here. All right, so I again thank Mrs. Dean for bringing us greetings. And now I would just like to give you a brief breakdown of the enrollment process. What we have done so far, we have the information available on our website, so you can log on to the university's website at the end of the forum today, and you can go onto the admissions and enrollment page. Under the enrollment tab, you will find all the information that will be shared here today. There's also an enrollment video that I encourage you to watch. It is very informative. It shows you step by step the processes that you will go through to complete your enrollment and registration. So let me just go ahead and give you a brief overview of what that process is like. So as a student here at UTech, your enrollment process starts with the payment of your enrollment commitment fee. That enrollment commitment fee is your way of telling us that you are ready and have accepted our offer that has been extended to you to join the UTech family. Once you make the payment of your enrollment commitment fee, you will be provided access to our student system here at UTech where you can choose your modules. The module selection guides for your various programs of study have been also made available on the university's website. You can access it from our enrollment page as well. It is advisable that you go through the module selection guide before making your selections online. Once the enrollment commitment fee is paid, as I said before, you will get access to the system to start your module selections. We advise that you begin with your core modules, the modules that are specific to your course of study and area of specialization. Then you can add all general education modules that you wish to also pursue that forms a part of your curriculum. Once you select each module, I advise that you view the timetable to ensure that all the modules are arranged and it's not providing a clash where times are overlapping. Once you have successfully chosen the modules that you'll be pursuing for the semester, you then make note of the timetable because you will not have access to do so until you have completed the entire registration process. Once you have made note of the timetable, then you can go ahead and submit and confirm those selections, and the fee will be generated at the end of that process. Now, payments can be made using our various payment mediums, and that will be expounded on by our Director of Student Financing during her presentation. Once your payment is made, after 2 business days, you should receive financial clearance. What that means here at UTech is that the university has confirmed that we are in receipt of your payment and will allow you to complete the next step in the enrollment process, which will be to return to your students' portal and complete what we call a 10-step online enrollment process. During that process, you will basically be confirming the information that you would have given to the university while completing your application online. Once everything is correct and you have agreed to the university's policies and regulations that will be outlined at the end of the 10-step process, then you would have been one step closer to completing the registration and becoming a currently registered student here at UTech. The final 2 stages in this process involves completing your medical form and submitting it to our medical center here on campus. You have the liberty to complete your medical at your own physician. The forms are available online. They can be completed online, or you can print and download and print, have your physician complete the form, and then you submit it to our medical center. After that is done, you would have been a registered student here at the University of Technology, and the final step would be to take the picture for your photo identification. Okay, I hope that process, it sounds a bit long and tedious, but trust me, once you go through it, it is quite simple, and it is the process that all our students must partake of in order to become registered, whether you'll be here on campus in Papine or you will be studying at our Western campus in Montego Bay. At this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Leon Grant, who will be joining us via Blackboard Collaborate to share some information, bring to you his presentation on what the university has outlined for our new students coming on stream as it relates to the classes. You know, Mrs. Dean mentioned earlier that it will be taking on a blended approach. So we will have some online classes as well as we will have face-to-face classes. So I'm just going to ask Mr. Grant if he's ready at this time, or if Mrs. Kamala Anderson is ready, they can share or expound on the process of the role of the Office of Distance Learning and what the students have to look forward to during this new normal. Mr. Grant or Mrs.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Tomlinson. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Grant is having some challenges, so we're working together. Okay, so good morning to our prospective students, or as Mrs. Dean said, our current students. I'm here from the Office of the Distance Learning just to briefly introduce you to UTech Online, which is a learning management platform that a lot of you will be using as we will be engaging in blended learning for this upcoming semester. So what is a learning management system? A learning management system is a facility in which you will be able to access your online classes, interact with your peers and your lecturers. And our learning management system, or some persons call it Moodle, is called UTech Online. When you go on the UTech homepage, utech.edu.jm, you will see it under the quick links. You will see UTech Online, or when you go and you click student, you will see it there, so you can easily access it. So as I said, this is the platform for all your online interactions, live classes, syllabi, etc. You will get your UTech Online login through the School of Computing and Information Technology, which is SCIT. And to get your UTech Online login at the home page, utech.edu.jm, and then click students and then click UTech Online. So that information will be emailed to you. So very important during this time, the email address that you gave on your admissions when you were applying, that you need to be constantly checking that email, because you'll be receiving information from different elements in the university, whether it's admissions or your lecturers or the School of Computing. So it's very important for you to check that email regularly, so that way you will not be missing out on important information. Right now, you will be, once you have selected your module, so Ms. Tomlinson just took you through the enrollment process, and you will select your modules or your courses. When school starts on the 24th, when you log on to UTech Online, you are going to see those courses or those modules that you have selected on your platform, or what we call the dashboard, and then you'll be able to enter. So we are encouraging you to please log on to each course daily so that you do not miss out important information. Oftentimes, persons feel that because it's online, that you can log on every 5 weeks or every 8 weeks. But that's not the case. Just as how you'll be coming to class on a daily basis, hopefully going to class whenever your classes are scheduled, we want you to be logging on to UTech Online. So you're going to treat it in the same way. So in terms of attending classes, you're going to follow your diet, and that will tell you when your classes will be held. So if you signed on and you signed up for Introduction to Psychology, and your diet says, or your timetable says you have class 5 to 7 and then 6 to 9 on a Thursday, then that is when you need to log on to UTech Online. So your diet that you receive when you enroll is going to be the same timetable for your classes. So please make every effort to attend your classes. Of course, we know that some persons do have challenges with internet, and so what we're asking is, if you are unable to attend your class, please go back to the platform and listen to the recordings. Your sessions will be recorded in case you are unable to attend the live classes, but as much as possible, we're asking for you to attend the live sessions so that you can get the benefit of interaction. You can ask your lecturers questions and interact well with your peers. Time management is critical for online learning, for blended learning. You need to create your own calendar when your assignments are due. This is very important. So this is the case, even if it is face-to-face or online, that you need to create your calendar of when your assignments are due, so that you do not get overwhelmed and bogged down with multiple assignments due at the same time. You will have your schedules from the beginning of the semester. You will know when your tests are, you know when your assignments are due, and so it is incumbent on you now as a university student to take that responsibility to ensure that your assignments are done in a timely manner and are submitted online in a timely manner. So you need to ensure to start working on your assignments and projects early, right? So even though it is online or blended, you're still going to have assignments, you're going to have group work. So you need to work together in your groups, create your WhatsApp groups, etc. So your goal should be to complete all your assignments 1 week early in case of internet or other challenges. So we know that things happen, right? Sometimes our network providers, the service goes down or electricity goes away. Anything can happen. So your goal should always be try to prepare early in case of eventualities. Charles Dickens said his advice is never to do tomorrow what you can do today. And he said procrastination is the greatest thief of time, right? And I think sometimes when you're doing work online, it is so easy to get bogged down and say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. And then when tomorrow comes and you realize that you haven't done it, then it's a problem. In a university setting, and especially for an online setting, we want to provide you with support. So if you are having technical challenges, there's a Tier 1 support team through the School of Computing. Right now, if you're having any sort of challenges, you can send them an email to tier1support@utech.edu.jm. I know that for the upcoming academic year, there are plans afoot to have live support, and I'm sure you'll hear more about that with them. But for now, you can send them an email. So once you have gone through your selection process, selected your modules, etc., if you're having any challenges as it relates to UTech Online, getting on, password not working, please send them an email and they will be sure to respond to you in a prompt manner. When the semester starts, if you do not understand something about your module, if you do not understand something about an assignment, anything like that, please reach out to your lecturer. Do not stay there in cyberspace feeling confused, feeling frustrated. Please feel free to reach out. Our lecturers will respond to you in a prompt manner. And of course, we want you to utilize the chat messaging feature of UTech Online. That's another way for you to respond or to communicate with your lecturers and with other students. And you can also post directly in the module forum discussion board. So within UTech Online, there are a number of communication features that are embedded in the system to help you to communicate and to not to feel left out. So please utilize those features, reach out, create your WhatsApp groups with your colleagues, with your other students in your classes to help you feel that connection. And lastly, we want you to enjoy the journey. Success is a marathon, not a sprint, right? As Mrs. Dean said earlier, things are not perfect. Nowhere is perfect, right? But as you embark on this new journey, we really want you to enjoy the journey. Try to make friends, right? Focus on your goals. You have a goal now as you're about to start. Keep that goal in front of you as you seek to persevere and as you face challenges, whether personal, professional, within your classes, etc. Accept that there are challenges, but you can make it through if you can persevere. And remember that the Office of Distance Learning is always here to support you, is always here to help. We work alongside the School of Computing, so if you're having technical challenges, if you're not sure about, how to navigate the system, we will provide training for you, so you'll be seeing a lot from us through the different social media networks of the university, the app, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So if you're not so technically savvy, don't get so worried and concerned. All you need to be able to do is click, and we will make the process easy for you by sending out information, putting information on the website. So all the best and congratulations as you start this new journey in your life.
Thank you, Mrs. Kamla Anderson, Instructional Design Specialist in the Office of Distance Learning. That presentation was very informative. I would like to encourage our students who are joining us online, if you have a friend, a neighbor, a relative who was also accepted to UTech, might not have yet been given information whether or not you're accepted, invite them to log on to the YouTube channel at this time and join us. The information is available to all prospective students and students. What I'm going to ask our viewers to do at this time, Just ask your questions in our YouTube chat. It will be noted, and we will have the question and answer segment at the end of our presentations. So you can go ahead after each presentation if there is a question that you need to ask, a concern that you need to be addressed. I'm asking that you make it known in our YouTube chat at this time. Our moderator, Mrs. Amoy Gokul Hibbert, is making note of these questions, and the questions will be given to us at the end of the presentations here today, and our presenters will also be available to answer those questions that you have. At this time, the next presentation will be on the academic advisement process, and the presenter, Mr. Greg Louis Austin, Senior Quality Assurance Officer. If Mr. Austin is ready, I'll ask him to go ahead and begin his presentation. While Mr. Austin gets ready for his presentation, I'd like to expound on a point that Mrs. Anderson made in her presentation at the end. As a student here at UTech, a new student, we're not going to expect that you'll be aware of all our policies right out of the gate. So if there is any concern that you have, your faculty office is available, your student affairs officer, each college and faculty has student affairs officers or centers that are available to address any concern that you have. If you have a concern regarding your modules that you should be doing here, as Mrs. Anderson alluded to, you should speak with the module instructor, your lecturer, if that person is available. If not, the best person to speak with would be your program director initially, and they will provide some assistance for you. Now, you'll be able to meet your program directors during the orientation week next week. And I think Mr. Austin is currently ready, so he can go ahead and begin his presentation.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Ms. Tomlinson. I welcome, on behalf of the Associate Vice President for Quality Assurance, Dr. Winsome Russell, and the team in the Office of Quality Assurance, all our new students. And also, I welcome those parents and guardians and support persons who may be on the system or on this network now to this pre-registration forum. It is wonderful that despite the challenges that we have, that we could still proceed with this online, and it goes to show that we are able to overcome challenges, and that is what university life is all about, overcoming challenges. One such way and structured support system that we have to overcome that challenge is academic advisement. And I'm going to get right into it. I only have 10 minutes and I'm going to be extremely quick. Now, and finish academic advisement at the service that is offered predominantly for our students, right? It's a service specifically for you students, and academic advisors has made ourselves available to you so that you can, at a click, as it is now or as it has become, you are able to get information as you need it. Basically, academic advisement is a service that is provided to ensure that you have, one, the correct information, two, that you have the correct interpretation of the information, and three, that you're able to make informed decisions, right? You can no longer say you heard it from somebody else or you heard it by the way. There is a structured way in the university that information is passed, and one such way is called academic advisement. Now, in each college and each faculty, there is an academic advisement unit, a team of persons who are specifically responsible for academic advisement. And then there are all the academic advisors that are there in your college and faculty. Now, later on today, when you go there, you will know more about that, right? And at orientation next week, you will actually get to meet those persons. Now, it is very, very important that you know who your academic advisor is. I will tell you where you'll find that in a while. So advisement is just for you because we don't want you to drop out, right? And even though you will be learning in a different style, I would want to call it new instead of different. Your learning will be predominantly blended, which is a mixture of online and face-to-face. And I think it is very exciting that we're going that route. And even though some persons may be a bit apprehensive, but I mean, that's how you socialize and that's how you recreate nowadays. Everything is online, everything is on social media. So why not learn online and social media, right? So for you, you'll be able to make the adjustments even far better than we are able to, because we're from a different generation. We are old school folks, but you are persons who would be able to navigate the online processes very easy. And so we want to ensure that you don't drop out. Now, don't take a break from school without letting us know. It is very, very important that you do that because we want you to finish on time. So we want you to click in time and finish in style. And by that style, I mean you are going to finish within the time you're supposed to finish, right? And also you are going to finish a PA of standard. You can graduate to do your masters and your PhDs and so on. It is important that you do well at this point. And so academic advisement creates the opportunity for you to get the right information from the right persons and use it in the right way. So you need to know your advisor. And every student in the university will be assigned an academic advisor. Everybody will have an academic advisor. All right, and you will hear more about who those persons are on orientation next week. Then you're supposed to check your portal, and you're going to be having that portal with you. It is going to be your companion, especially as we navigate these processes online. Your student portal is very important. Now, on that portal, there's a section there that's marked Academic Advisor. You can click on it, and you would be told, you will see the name of your advisor, and perhaps you will also see a contact number. Now, that contact number may not be a cell phone. It may be an extension that you can get your academic advisor at. And once you have that sort of relationship with your advisor, you would know where your advisor is. It is important that you ask at your college or faculty office, right? Ask at your college or faculty office where your advisor is. No, you're not going to be coming in perhaps so regularly, if any at all. So we have developed something in academic advisement for you to click. And we will soon give you that link that you can click to access your academic advisor. Very importantly, you need to maximize your potential. The L has dropped off, you see? We do things differently, but you would realize that that's that L right there. Maximize your potential. One, you need to attend the initial advisement meeting. Now, later on today, this very day, when you go to your faculties and colleges, that is going to happen. So it is important that you get that information, because on next week during orientation, that's when we recommend that this initial meeting is kept. You'll be able to see your academic advisor, and by see I mean you'll be able to see them online the way you're seeing me now and the others who are on. You're supposed to keep the advisor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Austin. It seems that he's having some technical challenges. So I hope the information that you have received thus far is of some help to you. And I'm telling you, you really, really need to pay attention to whatever was just the information that was just given by Mr. Austin as it relates to academic advisement. It's a very, very important step in the enrollment and registration process. And it is very important that as a student here at UTech, you know who your academic advisor is, you have access to that person in the event that you need some assistance as it relates to your academics here as a student on campus. And what I would like to do is just to segue into our next group of presenters. Here with me joining on camera, we have the president of the UTech Students Union, Mr. Khalil Hutchinson. And as I had informed you earlier, we also have the first vice president of academic affairs, Ms. Robin Murray, and she is joining us online via Blackboard Collaborate. I just want to expound again to let you know it's very important that you pay attention to the information that was given regarding academic advisement. As Mr. Austin stated, we will be having some sessions after this virtual pre-registration interactive session has ended. Some colleges and faculties will be having their academic advisement sessions starting at 12, going until 2 o'clock today. And others will have their sessions tomorrow. Now, after our pre-registration session ends, how can you access your academic advisement session? All you need to do is to log onto the university's website, visit the enrollment section of the website, and there is a link there for academic advisement. You search for your college and faculty. So if you are doing the health sciences, that's the College of Health Sciences. Natural and Applied Sciences, you will belong to the Faculty of Science and Sport. Or business students or entrepreneurs or hospitality and tourism management students, you belong to the College of Business and Management. Anybody doing dental sciences, public health, you belong to the Joint Colleges of Veterinary Medicine and Oral Health Sciences. So just log onto the website once the virtual pre-registration forum interactive session ends. There are links there that can take you to your sessions. You'll be notified if your session is happening today or tomorrow. And I would just like to remind you as well that this session will be recorded. So if you would like to revisit, if you think you had missed something, it will be on the university's YouTube page, and you will be able to get the information here. I would also like to inform you that if you log onto the website and you go on your college or faculty pages, you will also see the link to the academic advisement sessions. Again, it is very important. I ask that you participate in these sessions. It can be very useful to you once enrollment starts on Monday. What I'd like to do now is to hand over to Mr. Hutchinson, and he will ask Ms. Murray to come in as is needed to tell you about the Students' Union, what it is like here, how you can be a part of it if you so wish, and to share some of his experience as a student as well of the University of Technology. Mr. Hutchinson?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tomlinson. Firstly, I know Mrs. Dean, our registrar, would have congratulated everyone for selecting UTech Jamaica. So I again want to extend my congratulations because it's definitely the best university, not only in the country, but in the world. So congratulations on that step. So as Mr. Tomlinson would have said, my name is Khalil Hutchinson. I'm the president of the UTech Jamaica Students Union Council. So many students would have been interested in their student unions or student council in high school. So the students union is basically the next level of that. So we have students known as elected and appointed members. So an example of an elected member would be myself. So like it's the general election season now, and you will see the politicians going around and campaigning. When it's our election season, it will reflect something similar. So you have to go around and share your manifesto, share your visions for the council, and get students to vote. Appointed members now, those are persons known as directors. So they will be selected via interviews. And an example of a director is the director of special projects. You'll meet him next week during our orientation. So I would encourage all students to be a part of the Students' Union Council. You don't exactly have to be a council member, but you can be a committee member. Next week, Tuesday, at our orientation sessions, we'll definitely have some sign-up sheets where all interested students can come and get more information about the council on a whole. However, I would like to highlight a few things that the council will be doing this academic year to assist you. And by you, I mean youths of UTech. So you'll hear me refer to that popularly. So the first thing I want to highlight is our grants and bursaries. During this time, we know it's very difficult financially for students. So the council is here to serve you in such a way to ensure that your financial needs, as best as possible, is met by the council. This form will be online, and the grants cover tuition, dorm, lunch, bus, and we're looking into having it extended now to facilitate off-campus rentals. The other thing I'd like to highlight is our lecture series. This is an initiative in which I personally believe that students, once you come to UTech, it should be developed holistically. So a lecture series is something that is engaging and fun. So we're going to invite some prominent persons in not only Jamaican society, but in the world to come and speak with you, youths of UTech. I won't give you who the first presenter is. It's a big surprise, but look out for the lecture series. The other thing I'd like to highlight is the Interfaculty Championship. So this is where we crown the Faculty of the Year. And the persons who are in engineering, engineering was crowned the Faculty of the Year last year. So they have a popular saying, one school, one engine. So you will learn that next week for sure. Even during your breakout sessions later, you'll learn that. And addition to that this year is that we'll be crowning the Knight of the Year. So the person who participates the most, who has that team spirit, will be crowned the UTech Knight of the Year. So imagine that it's your first year and you're the Knight of the Year. So I urge everyone to just participate in these activities because that is how I started. Something to I should share my experience. So let me just share it briefly because my experience is very long. I lived on Farks the Hall, and I used to participate in everything. I mean, there was no Saturday or Sunday that I wasn't participating in a hall activity. So I participated until at that time, it was the director of special projects. I asked him to be a part of his committee from orientation, and he said no. And then I continued bothered him because he lived in room B7. So practically every other day I would be at his room and say, "Step up, I can't join the committee, you know." And he's like, checking back, so and I always checking back. And then semester 2, I remember this day, I was coming from Papine and I saw him and I said, "So we're going for your committee." Then it's like out of frustration, he just said, "Meeting next week." So I definitely come to the meeting next week. And then he basically just put me in a corner, you know. And then I overheard him saying that person should be at the rave. And I wasn't assigned a role, but I still went. I still did some things, and he started to see the potential until the following year I became an executive on that committee. And then the following year now, I ran for first vice president. That is what Miss Murray is now. And then I ran for president, and then I ran again for president. So this is my second term as president. So it's something that you just have to participate and take risk. And there's a lot of opportunity here because, final thing, I said this to council members, I've been to hotels, I think 6 times now, and I've never paid for one. And that's all because of UTech. So once you take the opportunities, it will present some good value for your life. The other thing I like to highlight is our website. There's a lot of information on our website now, and that is UTech Students Union. So the website, I'm going to repeat this again, UTech Students Union. Our Instagram page, UTech Students Union. Twitter, same thing. So all across social media, UTech Students Union. And I always tell students that if you're not getting through to the council, you can always reach me. My name is Khalil Hutchinson, and that's Kahlil Hutchinson. I am everywhere as well, Instagram, Twitter. And yes, and elections will be held next year, so semester 2. So you have some time to get to know how UTech operates and just get your foot in the water, as I say. So at this time, I know Miss Robin Murray, she has a lot of activities planned for you. So I like to bring her in to just say a few of those.
Okay, good morning, everybody. So I represent the Academic Support Unit. As Khalil said, I'm Robin Murray. I'm the first Vice President for Academic Affairs, Clubs, and Societies for this upcoming academic year. Right? So I'm in charge of club and societies and also any issues that you guys might be facing, the faculty representatives and the Academic Support Unit, we're here to assist you. So for the upcoming year, we have a few initiatives for you guys. We have Project 100, where we assist students experiencing data challenges or, just to complete their finals, any issues, connectivity issues you might be having. We try to assist you as much as we can. We have the Raise It series that is going to be launching, the Raise It campaign that is going to be launching this semester, where we encourage students to keep their GPA up. We motivate you guys, and there's a big prize, a grand incentive for raising your GPA the highest, and that will be announced on our social media pages later on in the semester. So ensure that you're following us on Instagram and Twitter. For Instagram, it's at asu.academicaffairs, and for Twitter, is UTech_academics. Not only that, but if you're interested in joining a club, society, or association, you can visit the UTech Students Union website, select the club that you're interested in, and submit the form to sign up. We have a club for everything, guys. Literally everything. If you like dancing, if you like singing, if you're a Christian, if you like worshiping, if you are good at drama, speech, we have everything for that. We also have a few initiatives, but those will be released later on our social media pages. As Khalil said, it's super important for you guys to stay involved and not just focus on your academics, because at UTech, we want to ensure that our students are 100% holistically developed. So we don't just focus on schoolwork at all. We focus on activities to ensure that your experience here at UTech is memorable. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Murray. And in wrapping up this segment, segment, I like to say that I want everyone again to take this opportunity, because the pre-registration forum last year, I would have missed it. And from that time, I made a commitment to myself. Once I'm here, I have to be at the pre-registration forum. That's how important it is. So please take your notes. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask them. I just gave you the websites on Instagram, UTech Students Union, and you can reach out to myself personally, Khalil Hutchinson. So please ask any questions. For me, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So anything you want, ask it. That's the only way you'll find out the answer. And the final thing I like to do is to remind everyone about our orientation. Well, the whole week is orientation, but next week, Tuesday, is the day specified for the Students' Union Council and clubs and societies. So that promises to be fun and engaging. So please come out next week, Tuesday, as well as next week, Friday. We'll be having the online Freshers Social. So we can have fun during this pandemic. So just stay tuned for those. And if there are any questions, again, please feel free to ask. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson and Miss Murray, for that very informative segment. I would like to just let the viewers know that Mr. Hutchinson is one of our most popular presidents that we have had in the UTech Students Union. You can call on him anytime, as he says he's always willing to assist, not just the students of UTech, but as the staff members as well, both academic and administrative, which is why he's here today. He's, as he said before, he's always involved. He has a passion for helping the students of the University of Technology. And I would just like to thank him again for coming today to share his experience as a student and as the president of the UTech Jamaica Students Union Council. If Miss Naisha Jarrett is still online, I would just like to ask her to come in at this point. She is one of our student ambassadors here at the University of Technology, and our student ambassadors were chosen based on students who showed exemplary attitudes and what it is that we want a UTech student to be, both academically, personally, and Miss Jarrett was chosen as a UTech Jamaica Student Ambassador. If she's still online, I'd just like to ask her to come in and share a few words, what it is to be a UTech Jamaica student and what it is like to be a student ambassador. Miss Jarrett?
Good morning. Thank you, Ms. Tomlinson. Good morning, everyone. My name is Naisha Jarrett, and I'm a third year accounting student. I'm currently going into my fourth year. And I'm just honored to be speaking with you today. I would just like to share some of my experiences that I've had at UTech. So, first, I'd like to share with you from the beginning. So, in 2017, immediately after I graduated from high school, I knew that I wanted to get a degree. I knew that I wanted to be an accountant. But, the main issue was the funding. So I wasn't sure how I was going to fund my tuition. So I was advised to go in and speak with the campus coordinator, who is Miss Sophia McIntosh for the Western Campus. And I went in and I spoke with her and I explained my budget, and she advised me as to the modules that I should take, how I should register, and so on. And she took the time out to explain everything from the ECF to the registration, selecting my modules, 10 steps, everything. So I'm saying this to say to you that UTech really looks out for their students. If it's one thing about UTech, they're always looking out for their students. In my first year, I received grants. I received a scholarship from UTech as well. And I haven't paid any tuition I haven't paid anything out of my pocket for second or third year. So everything was funded by scholarships. So UTech has really given me the opportunity to put my best life forward, and for that I'm truly grateful. I have seen where I have grown as an individual. Being at UTech over the course of 3 years, I've seen where I've really grown, because if you were to ask the person I was 3 years ago to do a presentation today, trust me, I would shy away from it immediately. So I've really seen where I've grown as an individual. Also, being a part of the ambassador program has given me many opportunities. Although I may not have been as active as I would have wanted to be due to the pandemic, it has even granted me this.
It seems as if we have lost Miss Jarrett there for a while, but I would just like to thank her nonetheless for agreeing to be a part of the pre-registration interactive session. I know what it is like to be somewhat shy, but I can tell you, once a student here at UTech, the students' unions help, anybody else on campus, if you participate, I am sure we can all overcome those little weaknesses that we think we have and shine to our best potential. I have been informed that Mr. Greg Louis Austin is back online, and he would just like to wrap up his presentation. As I said before, academic advisement is extremely important as a student here at UTech. So I'd just like to invite Mr. Austin to come back and to quickly just wrap up his presentation so that we can move on to the money business of it. Mr. Austin, are you able to join us now?
Thank you very much. Are you hearing me clearly?
You can
Yeah.
go ahead, Mr. Austin.
Bless you. So, all right. So I'm trying to share the slides just to go back. All right. So let me just go to where I got bumped off. I think it was about here. So I was at the point of telling you that students, you need to ensure that you communicate with your academic advisor, because once a relationship is established, once the method of contact is established, what happens is that you will now have to ensure that you take the initiative to contact your academic advisor when you so need advisement, right? When you need any information to be clarified, when you're not sure about anything, when you have any academic decision that needs to be made, or any other thing, matter, concern that affects your academic. We don't have all the answers, but we will direct you to where an answer may be had, right? So if it's an admissions matter, we will direct you there. If it's a health issue, we will direct you to the medical center, those sort of things, right? So please ensure that you do that. I want to also point out that we have a 4.0 GPA system, all right? So we want to ensure that you are 2.0 and above, because once you go below 2.0, you're on academic probation, right? And we don't like that word, we don't like that term, but it's a reality for some students, right? But we want that to be in the minimal. We want very few persons, if any at all, right, to be on academic probation. One good way of avoiding academic probation, one very good way of not being on academic probation is ensuring that you have a relationship with your academic advisor and ensure that you get information. And then also you must stick to your academic plan. And that is very, very important. All right. You are going to be given, or have been given perhaps, or will be given soon, your module selection guide. Now, please ensure that you use that plan very carefully. If you don't understand anything about it, please that you contact an academic advisor. My very last slide. Click in time, finish in style. Now that click that's there, that link is on the university's website. It is on your student portal, right? So ensure that you use it. And it is also available on the Instagram page of the student unions page, right? The student union website on their Instagram page. So it is there. It is almost everywhere that you would go. The link is there. Click on it, and what it will ask you to do is to just give your name, give your ID number, and give the faculty or college that you're in, right? So it's important that you know that. And then also leave a contact number so we can contact you right away. Good. Within 24 hours, because as soon as we get the link, we action it, and it is sent to your respective college faculty, and contact is made. And that has been working for us, working for us well. Since COVID, we were able to advise in excess of 300 students virtually or online, whichever term you want to use. We are encouraging you that not because we're not able to be face-to-face as we normally are, academic advisement is still available. and we understand that it is critical. So we have ensured that with the click of a mouse, with the click of a button, with the touch of whatever device that you're using, you can access academic advisement. We are ready for you, and we are available to you. We remain accessible to you, and we want you now to ensure that you take the initiative. Contact us. Go to your initial meeting, please. Ensure that you attend the academic advisement session on next week during your orientation in your faculty and college. Know who your academic advisor is, and from there on, use the click. Yes, use the link, right? Or use whichever email you have for your academic advisor and make contact. Thank you very much. I'm Greg Louis Austin from the Office of Quality Assurance, the Senior Quality Assurance Officer with responsibility for academic advisement in the university. If you click on that link, all the information, right? Very best, and to the University of Technology, Jamaica. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Austin, for that very informative presentation. And I would just like to encourage our students, please, to use the link that Mr. Austin had outlined earlier so that you can get the academic advisement support that you need. At this time, I'd like to thank Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan for her patience, and I'd just like to ask her to come on board now and bring us her presentation from the Department of Student Financing. That's the director, Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan.
Thank you so much, Ms. Tomlinson and the team. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so good morning, students. Good morning, colleagues. Morning to parents and guardians. Welcome to our pre-registration forum again. And at this time, I wanted to take you through, as a department, some of the fee payment options and the opportunities which exist for our students who are coming in for the 2021 school year. Firstly, I want to wish you, just the very, very best, and to say you would have already achieved much by entering university. And if we have any returning students listening, we also send you our best regards and wish for you a very productive academic year. Let's start by just ensuring that you understand how you generate an invoice or a bill here at UTech for your tuition, because that's going to be critical as you move through the registration process. Well, you would have heard that we operate on a semesterized system, which means there are 3 academic sessions. This means you'll have 3 generated invoice per academic year. For each of those sessions, for example, semester 1 will be your first session. Students will have the opportunity to select the modules they wish to pursue based on the guidance given by their faculty and, of course, what's affordable to them. This is so because each module has a credit weighting and each credit has a cost. And that is what will be combined to give you your actual per module cost and tuition cost for any academic session. And remember, I indicated that you will select not only based on the guidance of your colleges and faculties, but also based on affordability. And the university allows students to take a minimum of 9 credits per semester. This is not where we want you to be, but we understand that it's necessary sometimes to make the adjustments. So how do we determine your fees? Although it's done automatically for you, we wanted to ensure that you have an understanding of how the fees are determined. So once a student selects a module or the set of modules they wish to pursue for a given semester, they can check to see what's the credit rating for each module. That could be 1, 2, 3, even 4 credits for that module. Based on the number of credits, the per credit cost can be multiplied by that, and you would get the cost for the modules. The list of modules, for example, it's a plate and you pick up what you want, you place it on that plate, then you would now sum the total of each module, and that will give you your total tuition cost. In addition to your total tuition cost, there is what is called a miscellaneous component. That is to be added in semester 1 to the total tuition, and that will give you your total fees for that academic session. That total fees is what would make up your invoice and what would be payable to the university as at census date. Now, that's a new term that I'm introducing to you that you're going to hear a lot of, and I want you to pay attention very keenly. So whatever invoice you have generated based on the module selected, you're really required to make those payments by the census date so that you can complete the registration process that Ms. Tomlinson referred to earlier on in our forum this morning. Very important, you might be wondering, what is this miscellaneous fees? Similar to high school, they're really a composite of small fees that form part of your overall tuition-related package here at UTech. Importantly, the fees are mandatory. They're only paid once per academic year. So although you are apportioning the fees across the academic year, they're only paid once. And that payment is due in your first semester. That first semester could be semester 1, but for some students, it might also be semester 2 or even the summer session. The important thing to remember is irrespective of when your first semester is, you are required to pay this miscellaneous fee, and it's for the entire year. The reason it's for the entire year is because it's not a tuition cost. It represents a range of services, which I'll explain later. And for this reason, it's important to point out that the fees are non-refundable. So what is it that are the elements of this miscellaneous fees? Well, as a university, we take care of the whole person. So we are ensuring that our students have health insurance. That speaks for itself. But what about personal accident? Maybe on the campus or to or from school, there's a component in that miscellaneous fee. We have our JAM copy licensing, which ensures that all our students can access the relevant academic materials through our libraries and our journals without infringing on any copyrights. We have a student welfare contribution, which we use to help our needy students. And of course, you would have heard from our student union president about the wonderful set of offerings that our students union provide to its student population to assist them. So you pay a small dues, and that is also redirected to help. And then there are some special fees for some faculties like law and so on that have additional resources. So these facilities are combined and they make up that miscellaneous charge. And the reason it's applicable for the year is because we're providing you with the health insurance coverage for the year, the personal accident coverage for the year, irrespective of which semester you enroll. Wonderful. So as students, and that's what you are, as Mrs. Dean, our registrar, indicated, you are now our students. You would have already been introduced so ably by our enrollment team to this term called the enrollment commitment fee. And I know all of you out there in Cyberland, you have paid this fee already. So you might be wondering, what is this ECF, enrollment commitment fee, and how does it relate to the miscellaneous fee which was just shared? Well, to begin with, the enrollment commitment fee is not a separate charge. It is really a deposit that you make as a first indication of your commitment to enroll in an academic session. So once you have paid it, it represents your first payment, and it's used to reduce the overall tuition amount that you will come up on once you have selected your modules. It's not an additional charge. But as you heard earlier, the miscellaneous fee is an additional charge, a set of small fees, mandatory, non-refundable, hence the difference in the two. And importantly, in semester 1 of any academic year, once you have paid your ECF, it will go directly towards your miscellaneous fee as your first priority to the institution. If it covers it, then you're good. If there's a difference, you will need to make that differential payment, even if you are sponsored by somebody at the SLB. So For this academic session, for semester 1 and for the rest of the academic year, you would have already been advised by admissions in your letters that your ECF, as we call it, your enrollment commitment fee, is $28,700 for our local students and US $225 for our international students. And as was explained, this is what gives you the access to the module selection link, which will be open in a few days for you to begin your enrollment. Now, we want to ensure that, as our previous speakers mentioned, that we do what we need to do early. And this is the importance of the census date. So those of you out there, I hope you have your pens and paper as you were guided by the Students' Union President, Mr. Hutchinson, because this semester's census date is September 30th. And it's an important date. In fact, maybe one of the most important dates for a student to know in each semester. And so the important thing is that you make the payment that you are going to be doing by September 30th, which would be the final date for you to be considered early. You might be wondering what will happen after September 30th. Well, early registration ends and late registration begins. So you can continue with your registration after September 30th, but you would be considered late, and unfortunately, it will attract a fee penalty. And we ask that you try to do your payment at least 2 days before the deadline of September 30th, so that there's enough time for it to be updated and that we have no challenges on September 30th when we cut off in terms of the late and early classification. So you have selected your modules, you've confirmed them, so you're enrolled. Now you need to finish up registration. Your next step is fee payment, and I already explained how you would have determined your invoice. So once you have your invoice, we have a number of options for you. You can pay, if you have it, 100% of your invoice by census date and avoid all penalties, and in fact benefit considerably by doing so. But if you find that you're not able to find 100% of the fees by September 30th, we don't want you to have any challenges. So we have offered you a payment plan that is very, very flexible. You pay 55% on the first installment, which is by September 30th, in order to be financially cleared. You would then be placed on a payment plan, which has a requirement for you to settle the 45% all the way in October. So this means that even if you're not able to pay us everything by census date, we can offer you a payment facility. It's very easy. You need not come in to speak to anyone. Simply pay 55%. It doesn't matter how many times you paid, but by September 30th, you would have need to have made that payment in order to be considered early and to be given the financial clearance. Ensure that you settle the 45 by the date stipulated in October so that you do not incur any additional charges related to the plan. So essentially, we have a number of options for our students. There's something here for everyone. If you pay in full, which is 100% of your invoice, you are given a rebate for doing so of 2%. If you use a standard payment plan, you might not be given a rebate, but you would save no charges. If you are SLB sponsored, and I know that's a lot of students, the SLB has indicated that we are in excess of 3,200 students, heading to 4,000. So that's a large group. You might be wondering, what do I need to do if I don't have my loan approved by September 30th? We encourage you to take your documents into the Bureau as quickly as possible, follow the instructions. But if you find that by your approaching census date and your loan is not approved, and I'm not speaking about conditional approval now, conditional means you're eligible but not approved. So if you're not at the stage where you have a final approval, we ask that you request the SLB payment plan facility, and the instructions will go out to you to tell you how you can access that via our email platform. And of course, for students in the Doctor of Medical Dentistry, we have a special payment plan for this group. I mentioned that you would not only get cashback if you were to pay in full, but you would also be saving and avoiding all fee penalties, even if you took our flexible 55% plan. Importantly, as at census date, we want to emphasize the 2 states that a student can be in: enrolled If you are not enrolled by then, you would understand that there would be challenges because we would be wrapping up enrollment at that time. If you are enrolled, you can continue, but remember that the late penalty will be applicable as of October 1, which is after the census date. So here is just emphasizing the census date for you. What it means, it's at the point at which you can get the rebates, where you can get an opportunity to get an entry into the prize. It's the demarcation of the end of enrollment. It's where you can avoid fee penalties. So again, it's a very important date for you. And for those of us who might not be sure about what we're doing, we're asking you to talk with your faculty, your academic advisors, to ensure that the modules you have on are the modules you want. Because as of census date, whatever modules are on the system would be an indication from you that you intended to pursue these modules, you accept liability for them, and you would have given the university to go ahead to plan for teaching and learning. So we want you to make up your mind in terms of what you're selecting by that time. Otherwise, we have to now wait on ADRA.
Okay, Ms.
So
I'm so sorry, Mrs. McKinnon. I just want to cut in for a bit. We have some burning questions that persons would like to have addressed. So I am just asking you for a little leeway in your presentation so that we can get a few of the questions addressed before we begin. Before the academic session starts at 12. I would like to say, however, to our students viewing, if we are unable to complete Mrs. McLennan's presentation, the presentation will be made available on our UTech Jamaica website for you to view the information and apprise yourself of what is needed. There is information there on sponsorship and other financial aids that will become available to you once you have made a query. Remember, we're not going to know if you're having an issue as a student financially or otherwise unless you contact the department to let them know that you need some help. And as Mrs. McLennan said, we need you to pay attention to all the information that was given regarding fees. It's a very important part of your journey here as a student, and we have various options available to assist you in the event that you need it. I'm going to ask Mrs. Gokul Hibbert if she could just let us know some of the questions that persons have posed so that we can see how best we can address it, as well as your concerns that you would have shared with us.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
The first question we have is from Tiffany Anderson. She says, when will we get a package with the uniform samples and module selection guide?
Okay, thank you for that question, Ms. Anderson. The information is currently available on the university's website, as I said earlier, under the enrollment section of the website, as well as your college or faculty page. So once you visit our website, you click on either your college or faculty or the enrollment link, select your college and faculty, then you will see the academic advisement information there, which includes your uniform information, any book lists that are needed, as well as your module selection guides.
Okay. Stanhart Lockhart, will semester 1 for DMV students be online or on campus?
Okay, so Mr. Lockhart, that query will be so adequately addressed in your college orientation session, as well as the academic advisement session to be held either today or tomorrow. What I can let you know is that the university will be having a blended approach to the learning for semester one and possibly going forward, depending on the pandemic and the restrictions that are posed. What will happen is that for your lab sessions, the college and faculty will communicate with you how labs will be operated given the restrictions coming from the Ministry of Health.
Davana Daly, is there going to be boarding on campus?
There will be boarding available on campus. The selection process, though, will be done by our accommodations unit, and each student who requested boarding will be advised of how that process will take place.
Steph Hocknell, for persons with a conditional offer, when will they know the next step?
Our office is currently working with our colleges and faculties to communicate all decisions to our applicants. So what I ask that our applicants do, if you have not yet received information whether or not you'll be accepted to the program of choice here at UTech, I'm asking you to continue to check your email, check your spam mail as well. A number of these messages inbox can go to your spam if you're not seeing it in your inbox. But we are currently working with the colleges and faculties to respond to all our applicants in a timely manner. We know that enrollment begins on Monday, so we are currently working to have those responses sent out to you.
Okay, Roger Mackenzie, what's the time frame for orientation?
Okay, so orientation will be all week long. As stated by Mr. Hutchinson, we start on the 16th and we continue up to the 21st, right? So orientation will be all week long next week. Information has been posted on our website as to the different processes that will happen each day. So I am asking that our students, once leaving this session today, visit the website, view the information as it relates to the orientation. What I can tell you is that for the Western Campus students, your orientation will be on Thursday. So when you visit the website, information will be there as to how you can access the Western Campus orientation. That will be Thursday of next week. I would like to just allow our Assistant Registrar, Mr. Clayton Moore, to say a few words while we gather additional questions and concerns from our students.
Thank you, Ms. Tomlinson. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-registrations forum or interactive session. We want to congratulate those who have been given full offers to enter courses of study here at UTech Jamaica for the 2020-21 academic year. And for those who are still waiting to hear from us and to supply, whether it is credentials or other documents, we are hopeful that you will also join us here at UTech Jamaica in studying. Now, we just want to say that the process for enrollment and registration is very time-based. And so you are to ensure that you follow the timelines. Okay, so registration opens on Monday, that is August 17, and as it is said, the early bird catches the worm. And so if you have paid your enrollment commitment fee, that will allow you access to the student portal as of Monday. We ask you to go on very quickly, armed with your module selection guide, as Ms. Tomlinson says, from the website, that you will select your modules. And you will also get more information in terms of what type of modules. When I say modules, what we mean is the subjects that you'll be taking. Okay, here at UTech, we call those subjects modules. So the module selection guide allows you information to know those specific subjects that you'll be taking in semester 1, semester 2, or the summer session. All right, and as I said, you would need to enter the student portal at an early stage in order to select the best classes. You may select classes at any time when they are offered, whether it is in the mornings, in the afternoons, or in the evenings. Some classes are also offered on a Saturday. Some students regulate themselves and moderate themselves in terms of they might select their classes only for the Mondays, the mornings rather. Some may select for the evening. Some may select classes from Mondays to Wednesdays, for instance, and so they have their days free Thursdays and Fridays. But that opportunity is more so available to you if you go online. I do not want to speak too much, but I prefer to allow you to continue to ask your questions because we want you to ask those questions so that we can work through with you all those things that you do not yet understand and give you some clarity. So we'll continue to feed questions at this time.
Ms. Tomlinson, several persons are asking how do we select our modules and how do we access the student portal?
Okay, so what is on our university website under the enrollment link? For our undergraduate students, we have a checklist there. Now, once you click on the checklist option, the enrollment video is right on that home screen. I would invite you to watch the enrollment video. It has all the steps from start to finish on how to select your modules. As we have said, it is important that you have your module selection guide. The guide tells you what modules are to be selected and in which semester these modules are to be selected. And the information provided is from your year 1 all the way up to the end of your course, which would be year 4. So as long as you follow the module selection guide, watch the enrollment video. It is very informative. It shows you the step-by-step process from logging into the students portal, so information as it relates to when you should pay the fee, and then returning to complete the 10-step online enrollment process. Now, below the enrollment video, there, as I said before, would be a checklist, and the checklist has links that are activated. So once you click on the step that says to select your modules, you will be taken directly to the login page of your students' portal. And as a new student, how to access the student portal, you will utilize the application number, which is now will become your ID number once you complete registration. You use that as your username. So the information that would have been emailed to you in your offer letter or your acceptance letter, the number quoted there will be your ID number, and that you will use as the username to log into the portal. Now, if you're logging into the portal for the very first time, you would utilize your date of birth in the order that is stated on the portal as your password. Once you gain access to the students portal, you have the option to change your password to something that you will remember and as ease of gaining access to the portal whenever it is that it is needed. So I hope that answers the question.
Okay, there are several questions as to the medical forms. They're asking when is the deadline for it to be submitted, and can they submit it online?
The medical form can be submitted online. Information to contact our medical center is available on the university's website. The forms are also available on the website. It is fillable online as well. Or you can download these forms, take it to your healthcare provider, your doctor. If it is that you choose to use your own medical practitioner, once the medical is done, the form should be completed and submitted to our medical center here. It forms a part of your enrollment process. It can be done at any stage during the enrollment process, but it has to be submitted to our medical center before you can take your photograph for your identification card.
This one is for Mrs. Garcia Green McLennan. What is the payment plan for DMD students?
Mrs. McLennan, are you still there?
All right, let me take that while Mrs. McLennan is not here. So typically, the university allows students to make various percentages of payment in respect of tuition. So for example, for the last academic year or this academic year that just happened, we allowed students to pay 55% of the tuition. So at UTech, it is when that you select your classes that you will know exactly what it is that you ought to pay. So I'm going to use an example of the School of Business Administration, say for instance, the Bachelor's of Business Administration. A student may select, say for instance, 5 classes for the semester. And those 5 classes may come up to, say, around $100,000 for the semester. First of all, you'd have paid your enrollment commitment fee of $28,700. So it would be expected that what would be less of that, you'd pay 100,000 minus 28,700, which is what, $71,300 left. Okay. Typically, the university will say to you, we expect you to pay 55% of that in order to become financially cleared. Financially cleared means that this is the amount that we're saying for you, the minimum amount that you must pay in order to move on to complete your registration. Now, we want students to remember that financial clearance is not the completion of registration. Once you have paid the required amount that you need to pay, and that will be on the website, then also you must log on to the student portal again to complete your registration. Now, specifically for DMD, which is Doctor of Medical Dentistry students, we tend to have a further payment plan for those students because the fees are much higher for dental students, medical students. And so typically, we might say to the students, if your fees are $1 million or $2 million for the academic year, then you may be required to pay us 30%. Students also from medical dentistry, we ask specifically that you communicate with the Department of Student Financing specifically, and all students if you're having challenges. And we want you to know that you can communicate and you can speak with us. It is a tendency for many persons to wait until you are in problems to say something to us. We invite you beforehand to speak and to say. I'm going to give you also an email address where you can contact the Department of Student Financing, and that is Fin Customer Support. That is FINCUSTOMERSUPPORT at utech.edu.jm. So further questions in respect to the finances, you could put there. However, the payment options are online for all students to view, and further on, the DMD students can speak to the Department of Student Financing.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moore. Before we move on to additional questions, I would just like to follow up on the question for the medical center. Now, if you will be submitting your forms online, what we ask you to do is to scan the completed medical form along with your immunization card, and that information can be sent via email to the UTech Medical Center. The email address, UTech Med Center, that's UTechMedCentre at utech.edu.jm. untitled.jm. So you can send the completed medical form along with a copy of your immunization card. We ask that the information, all sections of the form be completed properly, and then you can scan and email the information to our medical center at UTech Med Center. That's UTech Med Center at utech.edu.jm. So I will move on to take additional questions.
Michaela wants to know, since we're allowed to do level 1 modules until we get our results, what is the plan for semester 2, as there are only like 2 level 1 modules in this selection guide?
Okay, Michaela, thank you for that question. I'm not sure of the guide that you would be looking at, but there are core modules available for level 1, as well as general education modules that are also considered level 1 modules. So our communication modules or social sciences modules like psychology, sociology, those are also level 1 modules that are available to you. Information technology, community service is also another general education module that is available for selection to the students for semester 1, as well as some of our math modules. And what we would hope is that once the CSEC grades are available, then we will start uploading that information to the system. And once we complete that process, it is hoped that you can move on to your additional module. So it's important that once the CSEC grades are noted, we will get that information as well. We will have our systems updated so that at the end of semester 1, it is hoped that the persons who were successful can move on to the additional modules that they would need to sit for semester 2 and possibly the summer session of the first year.
Miss Love wants to know, how do I know the status of a deferral?
Okay, so once you make a request for deferral of your acceptance here at UTech, that information will be communicated to you by our Students Relations Office. So I'm going to ask that anybody who would have submitted a request for a deferral, you continue to check your email, or you can contact our Students Relations Office if you think that, some significant time has passed and you should have gotten a response, but you will be contacted by our Students Relations Office as to the status of your deferral request.
Latanya Robertson, I have completed the transfer of credit form and submitted the same. How long does the approval take as selection of modules begin August 17?
Okay, Latanya, the approval of the modules that you had requested for transfer of credit should take anywhere between a week or 2. That process within your faculty or college office. It will then be submitted to the Office of Admissions and Enrollment Management, where once everything is approved, we will have that information updated on the system, and then you can proceed to select your module. So the process should take 1 to 2 weeks within your college or faculty, and then possibly an additional week or so in the admissions office, barring the number that we would have been processing at that time.
Ms. Tomlinson, students are asking you to repeat where the enrollment video is located.
Okay, so when you log on to the university's website, you can click on the admissions tab at the top, or you can go to the quick links section, click on enrollment. Once you have gone to the enrollment section of the website, as an undergraduate student, you can click on the checklist. So where it says checklist, you click on that tab, and the enrollment video will be available on that home page.
Ms. Tomlinson, students are asking you to explain the transfer of credit process.
Okay, so the transfer of credits process is for any students new to the University of Technology that might have been a student at another tertiary institution, or even if you're a current student here at UTech and you are changing your course of study, you have the option to transfer any credits that might be similar across the two courses. Now, the first step would be to meet with your academic advisor or your program director to determine if there are any similarities between the courses that you would have taken in the previous course of study and the one that you have been accepted to. Now, once that meeting takes place, you will be asked to complete a transfer of credits form, and that form is completed in triplicates. As a student, you will be asked to also provide an official transcript from the previous institution, or if you are a current student at UTech and you have transferred to another program, we will ask that you include with your transfer of credit form a progress report. Now that form, along with the transcript and the progress report, will be reviewed by your program director and decisions made on the equivalency of the modules being asked to transfer the credits. Once it is deemed equivalent, then it will be approved. Once that process is completed within your college or faculty office, the form is then sent to the admissions office for the information to be uploaded to your student profile. If we have students, undergraduate students who have some professional qualification or work experience, those students can use that qualification or work experience to gain a module exemption from any module that they think they would have covered 80% of the content. And the process is similar. Meet with your academic advisor or program director, have that discussion. Once the modules are identified, then they will ask you to complete the form. What I would need to point out as an important note for the module exemptions, even though you might not be asked to attend these classes, we do ask that the module be selected and paid for before the exemption is applied to your student profile.
Okay, Delano King wants to know, how does international persons pay their fee? What method or via what do we pay to?
Okay, so for all our international students, there is contact detail for the International Students Officer. Her name is Mrs. Janine Sinclair Morgan, and her contact information is on the university's website under the Enrolment tab, and you can contact her department and they will assist our international students with their process of enrollment and give advice as to how your fee should be paid. Okay. It seems as if we have covered the general questions that students would have posed to us. I apologize that we cannot continue with Mrs. Green McLennan's presentation, but as I had stated earlier, we will make this presentation available on our university's website under the enrollment link, where we have the additional information as well as it relates to your academic advisement information that you would need to have, your module selection guides, your uniform information, book lists that are needed. If you need to join any association, it is there. Academic advisement information is also available on your faculty page. If you are going onto the enrollment tab, you click on the academic advisement info link that is there, where you'll be able to join the sessions that will be starting in another 5 minutes or less. So I'm asking you, once we're finished here, visit the website, Enrollment tab, click on the Academic Advisement link and look for your college or faculty. If you want to go to your college or faculty page, you can click on that information as well. If you're going through the enrollment section of the website, it is the pre-registration forum page. So once you click on the pre-registration forum or interactive session 2020, you will see the links there for the academic advisement sessions that will begin today at 12 noon or tomorrow. I would also like to inform you just briefly on the week of welcome that is next week, starting Sunday, August 16. We will have our commencement service, and that will be streamed live on the University of Technology Jamaica's YouTube page. On Monday, we have Getting to Know Your Services. That is where you get information on all student services available here on campus. On Tuesday, you have WOW clubs and societies, as well as Getting to Know Your Students Union. So Mr. Hutchinson would have mentioned it earlier that on Tuesday, you're asked to join live on YouTube to get this information about clubs and societies, as well as the Students Union. On Wednesday, that's your faculty and college orientation day. And the information, as I said before, will be on the university's website for you to connect to your various colleges and faculties to meet the members of the various teams. On Thursday, we have the community service live stream on YouTube, as well as information from the Western campus where you'll be able to meet the team there. And on Friday, we have our induction ceremony, and that will also stream live on the university's YouTube page. I would like to thank all of you for joining us today at the University of Technology Jamaica's virtual pre-registration interactive session 2020. I hope that you continue to be safe during this pandemic, and welcome to the University of Technology Jamaica, excellence through knowledge. Thank you.